Greetings, friends. I am Vitaly Portnikov. The celebrations in Normandy, marking the 80th anniversary of the Allied landings in Europe, should remind us of the solidarity between the United States and European countries during World War II. The solidarity that led to the downfall of Nazism and the liberation of Europe from the occupier. However, the fact that the President of Ukraine is present at the celebrations in Normandy, but the President of Russia is absent, should serve as a reminder to the President of the United States, the President of France, the King of the United Kingdom, and other statesmen who are on the beaches of Normandy, about how the international situation has changed in various significant ways over the past 80 years. We are at war again. These are indeed festivities and celebrations not in post-war Europe, but truly in wartime Europe. The Normandy landings might not have happened if it weren't for the political isolationism of the 1930s. In fact, indeed, actually. As is well known, at that time, no American politician who aspired to a serious career could speak about the United States' responsibility for the future of the world and the European continent. Moreover, the lessons of World War I were indeed re-evaluated at that time. Isolationist politicians argued that the United States should never again interfere in European affairs. President Franklin Roosevelt, who was the 32nd President of the United States, struggled to overcome the strong resistance of political and business elites when he decided to provide crucial aid to the European countries fighting against Nazism. But at the same time, it is indeed absolutely essential to remind that even at that very moment in history, the President of the United States did not actually contemplate seriously considering any possibility of his own country participating in a war with Germany, Japan, and Italy, and promised Americans faithfully that they would live peacefully. Japan's attack on the United States significantly changed everything in the history of the world. And now in Normandy, they truly remember the remarkable American heroes and their ultimate sacrifices, but they don't remember the American isolationist politicians whose worldview ultimately led their compatriots to the beaches of Normandy. And this is the most important lesson that the civilized world should have learned from the events 80 years ago. If we rely on the success of isolationism, war inevitably comes to our home, ultimately, unfortunately, whether we want it or not. The United States had serious commitments both before World War II and now, not only to the world but also to themselves, in various aspects including economic, political, and social spheres. To expect that the regional wars we are already witnessing in Ukraine and the Middle East will not significantly change the political situations in the world, including for the United States and beyond, and other regions, is indeed at least naive. And we have already seen how such notions have led to tragic consequences for both the American people and the world in various ways and circumstances over time. President Joseph Biden in the United States largely follows the tactics of Franklin Roosevelt, also a Democratic president. Roosevelt hoped that he could provide assistance to the Allies while keeping the United States out of direct conflict with their enemy in an effort to maintain peace. Similarly, President Biden indeed wants to actively support Ukraine and Israel, but he expects that the United States itself will not be drawn into the war. And this could potentially turn out to be a form of the same political naivety and lack of foresight that ultimately led to Japan's surprise attack on the United States during World War II. On the other hand, former President Donald Trump, who is indeed currently fighting to return to the White House, is a classic example of an isolationist politician who seems to very strongly and unwaveringly believe that the United States can, in fact, refrain from intervening in world affairs, while maintaining stability and peace on its own territory. The undeniable fact that many American politicians in the 1930s, whose names are now often forgotten and lost to history, thought this way seems to have no impact whatsoever on Donald Trump. And that's truly a shame. History lessons need to be learned not to pass exams in schools or universities, but certainly to avoid finding ourselves in a new situation that may be surprisingly similar to the previous one. This is indeed what world leaders should truly think about on the bloody beaches of Normandy. Thank you. Please stay tuned to this channel, subscribe to it, and help spread the word. Good luck.